Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior series, where I review games you can beat in under 15 hours. So the last game we looked at was Sunset Overdrive, a game about the fun that still holds up. However, this time we're taking a shift towards something a little different. Well, a lot different. It is, you guessed it, Quantum Break, a game you can beat in 10 hours. So, let's time jump into this. Released in 2016, Quantum Break is a single-player, science fiction, action-adventure, third-person shooter. But that doesn't really do it justice. Yes, it has a science fiction plot with time travel. Yes, it is an action-adventure game as you explore missions and complete puzzles. And yes, it is a third-person shooter as you fight enemies. So yes to all those things. However, I wouldn't use them to describe what the game really is, or even why I would recommend it. But before we get into the why Quantum Break is worth playing, let's get into the details of what to expect. In the game, you play as Jack Joyce, voiced and played by Shawn Ashmore. The plot revolves around time travel. You'll have to go through different environments, find narrative objects to help expand the story, and fight different enemies. And like any good action game, you'll have unique time-based abilities to unlock and upgrade. The plot links nicely with these abilities. So you have abilities like Time Vision, where you can see enemies. You have Time Stop, where you can shoot an area and slow it down, and then spray it with bullets, so when time restarts, they all hit at the same time. The game also has a couple of different standard weapons, and let's say a hit and a miss auto cover system, where it automatically has you grab cover when you walk past it. But speaking about the area, the game's setting and environment are a strong focus. The environment will be impacted with random changes in time, so you can see your abilities as they impact NPCs and even some of the environment. This creates some truly awesome set pieces as you see sections of the world around you being altered. This also helps create some unique combat experiences, as you time freeze enemies, or you just see books get thrown around and chairs moved in certain environments as you use your ability. However, the abilities go beyond combat. As you go through the story, missions will require you to use time-based abilities to help you get through puzzles and get to the next area. Speaking of getting through the levels, for you nostalgic 2010s adventure fans out there, the yellow types-up ledges are here in all their glory to show you where to jump. So yes, the game has all the action-adventure sections you would see in Tomb Raider, Uncharted, or of course, Control. Because, by the way, Quantum Break is made by Remedy, the same developer who made Control and Alan Wake. So if you've played those games, you'd be very familiar with the gameplay. But now, let's take a look at what makes Quantum Break different. At the end of every chapter, the game has you decide between two decisions that it calls junctions. This slightly impacts the story. Like Telltale games, after you make the decision, you get to disappointingly judge your friends' choices and see what the community chose. By this point, you may have noticed the game's main characters are actors you've probably seen before. And this is important because after the end of every chapter, you're given a live action episode based on the choice that you made. And I do mean episode because these go for over 20 minutes each. And this is the fear, because you wouldn't be shocked if this was a gimmick. However, surprisingly, these episodes are where the game shines. They could have easily have half done them and hired anyone, but thankfully they chose pretty solid cast. Really, the game easily fits right into any show you would see on the Sci-Fi Channel, if not better quality. It really doesn't miss a beat. Overall, it's a solid game and a solid show. The combat feels good, and using time travel abilities is a nice tie-in back to the plot. However, some people may find the combat and platforming sections repetitive, and this is kind of the dilemma for narrative-focused games. It is a mix between narrative story and actual gameplay. It's like a seesaw. It's easy to tilt too heavy on one side and ruin the other. If you're enjoying the live action episodes and the story, you may just feel like rushing to the next one. But if you're not liking the story, you may find the story in episodes tedious. It's always a fine balancing act that's different for every player. But let's get back to the start. Yes, Quantum Break is a science fiction action-adventure third-person shooter, and it does all those parts pretty well. But I would recommend the game for people looking for a unique experience that has live-action episodes and solid gameplay. If you enjoy narrative games, or especially sci-fi time travel plots, it's hard not to recommend the game. It really does feel like a Sci-Fi Channel TV show. So if you want a story-focused adventure game you can finish in 10 hours, or a truly unique experience, then this may be the game for you.